What is up, fam? So today we are doing a drop shot video, just like a little tutorial, a few tips that I do while setting it up, including like how I actually tie on the hook and just kind of rig up my weight so that I lose less weights. But yeah, stay tuned. Right now I'm actually gonna trim off this Ned rig, which is an awesome rig, but for the video's sakes I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna show you guys how to rig a drop shot. Alright, now when we're talking like rod wise and whatnot, this rod is just a 7-foot medium light. You can use anything from a medium light to a medium. You could even use a medium heavy, I suppose, depending on the situation. But for most situations I like using a medium light just because I can really feel the sensitivity of the bites that way. Because a lot of the times when you're fishing like with a finesse hook, something like this right here, this real light wire, it's really small, it's kind of finessey, so I like using like a little medium light rod, and the 7-foot length is like my sweet spot personally, but I'm a shorter guy, so that could be why. But anyway, yeah, so moving on to the next tip. This is a drop shot hook or an octopus hook, but if you look at it, it just basically has just like a nice little curve to it, but the eyelet is flush with the point, and I'll show you guys why that is and how this is a very important thing to keep in mind. Alright, so the first thing, like what I was talking about earlier, you don't want it this way, you want it this way. So we're gonna get that right on the line, and same thing as always with a drop shot, more line the better. So just give yourself a bunch of tag line, as much as you need. For video's sake, I'm gonna give myself a little less so I'm not wasting much. Alright, now the way I do it is I just do a loop just like this, just like that, and I pinch it. And then what you want to do is you just want to make sure when you're rotating, so you just want to get this hook in this circle there, so you just want to rotate it in and out of there like 4 to 5 times. That's 2. Getting bit by a mosquito. 1 second. That's 3. That's 4. Now it's kind of being a little bit difficult because I've got kind of a smaller tag end, but go one more time, make it 5, just to make sure we get it nice and tight. So you want to make sure that nothing comes undone, because these twists will come undone if you let go of like this hook, as you guys saw earlier, or you didn't. But oops, there goes the drop shot weight, but that's all good. So I'm just gonna kind of slowly pull this, not tight, but also just make sure that the hook doesn't come undone. But as you can see, this knot slowly forming. I'm gonna tug a little bit more on this end. Alright, so now it's like really getting close to forming. Alright, now I'm just gonna cinch it nice and tight. And you want to make sure that this knot is gonna line up right on that eyelet though. So you want, which it is, it's perfect. Pull it super tight, which it is. That's exactly how you want it, folks. And it's facing straight up, so now we're gonna get the weight on the bottom. It's gonna be dancing perfect. Alright, so the next step, this is kind of the coolest part about these weights. So because it's got this clip, you don't have to do a knot or anything like that. So now we got that hook tied on, which I just dropped it, but we got the hook tied on. Now all we need is to get this weight on the line, that's the tag end. It's gonna cause it to be a drop shot. So pull that through just like so, and then when you pull this line up to where it gets really small up there, it'll just wedge that line. So you just do it just like that, boom, and you do it real quick because otherwise it can actually cut the line. So as long as you kind of pull it up quick, and this is like an 8-pound diameter, so it went up there nice and easy. But if you're doing like a 10 or a 12, it can be a little bit more difficult to get it all the way up at that top. But this just allows you so that when you're fishing it, say we're in the river and we get hung up or something, you know, we'll break this off and we'll get back our hook, which is awesome. And then it also allows us to stay in the water column, just like so, while not being on the bottom. So it works for a lot of applications. You can use it for a lot of different plastics. I like using those robo worms like I showed you, but you can use literally every brand makes their own finesse or non-finesse drop shot weight or drop shot plastics for that matter. But the last tip that I do want to show you guys real quick, so with this tag end, after you get this drop shot weight on there, just so that you lose less of these weights, because I'm kind of a stickler on that. I want to make my tackle go the longest way that it possibly can, as far as like saving my tackle at least. So what I like to do is I just make like a little overhand knot, which as you can see I just make a little loop right there, and it's gonna be hard for you to see because I don't have much of a tag end, but I'm just gonna toss it back in here just for like a nice simple overhand knot, just like so. Pull that, and that way you just have a little knot in there, so that when you pull this tight and it does get hung up on the bottom, there's a chance that when this slides through just like that, it'll get one more chance to pull and free out of that either rock or, you know, that little tree branch that you're stuck in. But if you can't, then you just breaks off. Then you get your hook back, which is awesome, really useful for a lot of areas. So hope you guys use this technique to go out and catch a bunch of fish in your area, and I hope you guys enjoyed.
Dot.